Take 2, with the hope that my crazy hillbilly neighbors will stop setting off fireworks and making a lot of background noise. So I decided to do a little change of scenery today. You will see some greenery in the background, but don't let that confuse you because I actually live in the city and my neighbors are quite close. So you may hear anything from people screaming, police cars, dogs, firecrackers, all that sort of stuff during the course of this. But today we're going to talk about dealing with weight gain in pregnancy, and more specifically in my case, dealing with weight gain after a significant weight loss. So I am about a week past my 4-year surgiversary from having the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which was a weight loss surgery, and I am 3 weeks out from being a year post-op from my excess skin removal, which removed skin from my arms, all around my stomach. It was a lower body lift, and then redistributed some of the fat to my booty. So, and I am now nearly 4 months pregnant, and I have not been freaking out at the number that I see on the scale. I'm trying not to squint because, like, it's bright out here, and I probably don't look very good with this kind of lighting, so I'm trying not to, like, make my eyes squinty too. So, anywho, the number on the scale has not really been freaking me out at all. In fact, what made me upset was yesterday my husband was running a 5K. It was the foam run, and I was actually supposed to do it. I had signed up before getting pregnant, but once I found out I was pregnant, I couldn't do that anymore, so my friend went with him, and someone in the crowd took a picture of the 3 of us, and I looked horrible, and I felt so bad about myself. I looked like the person that I was before I had lost weight in the past. That's when I looked at my face and my arms and my body, like that's what I saw, is that me from, I got a bug in my eye, that me from, 4 years ago. And of course I'm not as heavy as I was at that time, so I'm probably exaggerating a little bit, but anywho, so I asked the guy to take another photo, and I was kind of telling myself, maybe it's just a bad angle and it'll be okay. I'll just pose differently. And no, it wasn't any better the second time around. So the thing is I haven't gained a whole ton of weight. I've gained somewhere between 12 and 15 pounds. Of course, the scale fluctuates. But the thing is I'm not really looking pregnant yet. The weight is going everywhere except for my stomach. So my arms, I got bugs all over the place. My arms have gotten bigger. My thighs have gotten bigger. My face has gotten bigger. But the thing that I think is bothering me the most is my arms. And surprisingly, I still wore a tank top today anyways because I want to use this video as a point of reference later. So when I'm losing the weight, I can look back and be like, okay, my arms are a little bit smaller. So anywho, one thing is I wanted to talk about kind of like the emotional side of it because even though I know that I'm, sustaining life and growing a creature inside of me and probably building up fat stores to help with breastfeeding later, it doesn't mean that it's any easier emotionally watching myself get bigger, especially in that picture yesterday. So where was I going with this? Oh yeah. So yesterday I actually, when we got home from the 5K run, I actually kind of had a little breakdown and I was crying, and I was crying so much that I ended up puking because it's my thing now. I just puke everything up. But I also tried to make myself feel a little bit better, reminding myself that now, with everything I've went through, I know the tools to lose weight. I know that I have to watch out for processed foods. I know that I can't eat too many grains. I know that I can't eat too much sugar. And I have to remind myself that I've been having to do these past 4 months what my body tells me to do because I've been so sick. In fact, I've been wanting to make my surgiversary video for both my excess skin removal and my weight loss surgery. However, I've been feeling so sick, I just haven't felt up to it. So these past couple days, I have been feeling better, and I have been able to return to eating some of the food that I ate in the past, like salmon or chicken or spinach or, all this other stuff that I normally eat. But for probably from week 8 through, I would say pretty much through week 16, I'm just past week 16, I was eating really horrible food that I haven't eaten in years. I was eating Subway probably 3 days out of the week. I was eating occasionally a panini from Tim Hortons. I was eating the baked potato with cheese from Wendy's. So even though I wasn't, going to McDonald's and I wasn't getting the Big Mac and I don't even know what they have, the double quarter pounder with cheese, even though I wasn't eating those sort of things, I was still eating stuff I don't normally eat. I was also eating Slurpees randomly from 7-Eleven. And granted, I would get the small size. When we went for ice cream, I would get the small size. But that's not food that my body is used to. And I know from everything I've been through that that's not food that my body can handle without deciding that it wants to just stick it somewhere and save it forever. So it's been kind of rough on me. But I have been trying to make the better choices. So, for instance, I feel like I'm on a tangent and I'm just rambling. One thing is, for me, I know that when I was losing weight and when I was maintaining my weight loss of, I was down almost 100 pounds at one point, but I was more maintaining around the 85 pounds lost. That's what I was maintaining. I didn't eat a lot of grains and sugars, and if I did, I gained weight. So, for instance, my grain intake throughout the day in the past may have been, I apologize if my screen's moving, the wind is blowing. In the past, I may have eaten, like, if I had toast for breakfast, I probably wouldn't have had additional grain products throughout the day. Or maybe I would have had some of my gluten-free noodles at lunch. Or maybe I would have quinoa or brown rice at dinner. Excuse me. Pregnancy makes you gross, mucusy and burpy and smelly and all those things. So anyways, I wasn't eating grains at every single meal, but the thing is like that's kind of all that I've been able to keep down. So when I wake up in the morning, I was eating either cereal or crackers or French toast or something like that. And then for lunch, I was having Subway. And then for dinner, I was having maybe my gluten-free noodles or some sort of something on a piece of bread. And that's the reality is that's what I could keep down. If I tried to eat strawberries, I threw up a bunch of times. Peanut butter, I kept throwing up. Spinach just didn't sit right. There's times when I can't take in chicken. And then the other reality is sometimes I just feel so much like crap that I don't want to cook. And that when hunger hits me, it just comes on so fast and out of nowhere that I'm literally puking, like my stomach it's like squeezing and making me puke, and I have to just eat the first thing that's in sight, which is normally a cracker or a handful of granola. So I'm hoping now that I'm feeling better, I can start making better choices and maybe slow the weight gain a little bit, because I know that probably a little bit of the weight I've gained hasn't been fully for the baby. I have some extra fat stores, I'm sure. But I did want to talk one thing about, even though I've been having cravings and even though I haven't been able to eat my typical diet that I would like to eat, and I really, with all my heart and soul, wanted to eat the best I possibly could while I was pregnant, but I guess, unfortunately, I got to deal with what my body and nature dealt with me. I did try to make better choices. So, for instance, when I was craving SpaghettiOs, I didn't run out and get I don't even know who makes it. To be honest, it's been so long since I bought it. But that's something I used to eat when I was heavy. So what I did instead, I would get the organic version. This is Annie's. I like this grain. Oh my God, what's the word? Brand. Wow. Even though I like that brand. The other thing I was eating that I don't normally eat was macaroni and cheese, and I was getting that from that brand as well, Annie's. Another thing that I was eating a lot of was bacon. Now, granted, I would get the sulfate-free, the non-cured one. I can't talk today. But I mean, eating bacon, I mean, it's full of fat. Normally in the past, I may have eaten turkey bacon, but it wasn't something that I ate often. The other thing is, with peanut butter, I would always try to choose a more natural one, and that was something that I would almost eat on a daily basis in the past, but it kept coming back up every time I would eat it. And what happens is sometimes I would when I would eat something and it would come up, I would give it like a week, and then I would say, okay, I'm going to try it again. And if it doesn't come up, I'll just know I was feeling sick that day. Or if it comes up again, that's probably not going to be something I can eat. So peanut butter, I really wanted to eat it, so I tried it like 3 or 4 different times, and every single time it came up, so I decided, okay, you know what, I can't do this anymore. But more recently, I found a brand. It's actually a Michigan brand. Naturally Nutty. I really can't talk today. Or maybe I just forgot how to read. Chocolate butter toffee peanut butter. And it's made in Michigan, and it's got flaxseed and hemp seed added, and the woman talked about kind of her history of why she built her own brand, and she doesn't add any, there's no hydrogenated oil, so there's no trans fats, not a ton of added sugar. Excuse me. So even though I'm eating things I don't normally eat, I am trying to make the better option, and I'm really hoping that now that I'm feeling better, I will be able to segue into the stuff that I like, fruits and vegetables and salmon and chicken and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, I just got to, like I said, deal with what nature is doing to me, and if that means eating grains, I'm going to try to pick the better option and know that now I have the tools mentally, emotionally, physically to lose the baby weight once the baby is born. One more thing, as far as like my arms, which I was saying I was uncomfortable with, and I'm trying to make this quick because I'm coming up on the 10-minute mark. I was reading that the dimpling that I'm getting in my arms and my thighs is completely normal, and that it should go away once I breastfeed. And what else? I was going to give you guys a body shot. I'm just going to show you 2 more things. You may have noticed I dyed my hair. I was trying not to do any kind of chemically sort of stuff since I've been pregnant, and I did talk to you guys last time about some of the natural products I use, but I couldn't have 6-inch roots by the time I was giving birth, so I had to do something. And as you can see, you can kind of still see where my roots were. And I think part of the problem was once I got out of my first trimester, they say it's safe to dye your hair, but I still bought one that was like less chemically. I don't even know if that's a word, chemically. I'm making stuff up today. But I think I was overly cautious in my application process. Like, I didn't want it to touch my head. I didn't want it to touch my hands. I didn't want to smell it. And then as soon as I felt my head tingling, I washed it off, even though it was 5 minutes too soon. But anywho, the brand was Tints of Nature. The reason I chose this one is because it has free from ammonia, parabens, and I don't know this word, resorcinol. And I actually called the company and I asked them why they thought it didn't apply well to my hair. And he said that, I'm sorry. Being pregnant makes me do gross things. Being pregnant makes me do gross things. Anyways, excuse me. The guy said they stand behind their product, so if I wanted to bring it back to the store, which I got it at Whole Foods, he said they would refund it completely, or they would give me a new one. So I will probably try that in a few weeks here. The other thing is some people had asked me about the deodorant I mentioned that had helped with my scars, so I'm going to show that. Tom's of Maine. And of course, right before I'm about to show my body, my neighbor has come outside, so this is going to be fun. But anyways, I have 2 different, like, flavors or scents or whatever, so I don't think it matters which one that you get. But this is the one that helped with my scars. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my body and hope my neighbor doesn't come. Here's my arms. And as I stand up, you guys are going to see that my belly isn't really growing, but I'm getting fat everywhere else. I'm getting some crazy flank area stuff going on. I got major back fat. And again, I'm just showing this because later it may help me when I start losing the weight, and I want to have this as a point of reference. So here we go. So here's my kind of problem areas. I wanted to show you this. This is a little trick to keep the pants lasting a little longer. And that's just a hair tie. These are the only pants that still fit me. They actually were too big when I got pregnant. They're an 8, and I was wearing a 6. So these are the only ones that do fit now. So thanks for watching. Sorry if I chatted for too long.